Hello everyone, and welcome to Ghouls vs. Humans Update v3b8. Now this update has been 2 weeks in the making now, and there is so much to talk about. There's so much to talk about, in fact, that I'm not going to script this at all. This is just going to be me going over the patch notes in their entirety. So what's funny is I actually started this off by saying this was going to be a small update, and then it ended up being the biggest update I have done yet. Every change that I made, there was always something else. For every change I made, another 2 made it into the list. And this update has been an absolute blast to make. There is so much content and changes and bug fixes to go over that I cannot wait to share with you. So without further ado, let's get started. And I'm going to be reading right from the patch notes as they are. So if you want to read along, like have the patch notes with you on the Discord and read along, you are more than welcome to do so. And another thing is anything is subject to change. We are going to be testing this update for probably about a week, so expect this update to come out middle of next week or the end of next week. Testing will start tomorrow, and there's going to be a lot more testers this time around. So hopefully testing goes smooth, buttery smooth, and then we can have this update in our hands, hopefully next week. It definitely will be out next week. I will make sure of that. But anywho, let's start from the top of the list and get straight into this. So first off, Punk Patch v3b7 has been implemented into v3b8, and if you don't remember, that was just Doom 64 guy buff and bug fixes. So that has been implemented into this update. Now for the how to play screen, if I switch over from TDM to TLMS, press space on the join screen, go to how to play, and we got a new little info screen. So you can pause this and read, but this is to help our new players that join get a little bit of an idea of what to expect when they play. Next up on the list is class information pages. So, didn't want to do that. So go to options, go to customize controls, just press up on your up arrow. Bam, at the bottom is class information. Now what you want to do is when you spawn as a certain class, like whatever class you want, I'm just going to show you Doomslayers. Press that button, bam, the info screen comes up. Press it again, it goes away. Now every single class has one of these. So I could, for example, let's just go Terror Puppet. Terror or Puppet. Go switch teams. And bam, there's his info page. So it gives you roughly what their weapons do, what if they have any abilities, what they're resistant and weak to, and I left a little tip at the bottom for you. And I also left what health they start at, so he starts at 150, but he can go up to 200 by any means of healing. So, the humans, ghouls, and spectators now have their own health indicators. So for spectators, it's a medkit. For humans, it's an onk. And for ghouls, it's a pentagram. You may have noticed this already, but all humans and ghouls now have their own teleport fogs and sounds to go with them. So let's just jump straight over to Graveyard Chill here. And I will show you all the teleport fogs and animations and sounds that go with them. So enjoy the little showcase. And to mention something about the teleport fogs real quick is that they will appear for whatever class you are. So for example, if I am Doom 64 guy, you will only hear and see the Doom 64 guy teleport fog and sound, even if it's used on other classes. So like if I'm Choke and I run through this teleporter over here, then Doom 64 guy will see and hear his own game's teleport fog and sound. So it's class specific basically, and I think spectators will always have spectators should always have the same one too. So Caroline used to have a bug where if you killed a ghoul, and this actually affects Engineer as well with his mech's machine gun. Shut up. Anyway, when I run over and grab this heart here, you used to go invisible, and same with Engineer's gun. So now that doesn't happen anymore, and the same thing would happen with ghouls too. So that bug has been fixed. Hooray for that! So for Strifeguy here, he used to have a bug where, and this affects Mohawk too. They used to have bugs where the morph would break, and you would not be able to unmorph anymore. Or, yeah, you wouldn't be able to unmorph as them. Now it should always be forced, and we'll have to test this, but... And here's a little sneak peek of some changes I'm about to go through later, but anyway. They will always be forced now, hopefully. So we'll have to test it when we get around to testing, but... Hopefully, you don't just, like, spaz out your morphs and they break and you can't actually morph out, so... Hooray! Bug fixes. Always a good thing. Now, if we pop over to the forest map, the bug with the barrel, I believe, yes, this barrel, I believe it was, used to be, like, right here where a spawn was. So that has been fixed, and you won't spawn into a barrel and get yourself stuck for the rest of the round. And let me see if I can find it. And there was also like a little shitty leaf sprite. This also has the updated sprite. This is what it should look like. And there's even some on like the outer edges of the map here. Like if we go over here, follow me, follow me. Ah, here we go. There's even some like right on the outside edge of the map too, so. That is also a bug that is fixed, so this map can actually be played and not cause people to get stuck. Next up, all plasma classes on human team now give ghouls. So, like how Doom 64 guy's Unmaker would cause a ghoul to explode, this now affects all plasma weapons on human team. So let's make Undeath explode. Sweet. And I also added this to their minions too. So if you, let's summon a fleshling real quick. They will also gib on plasma kills. And this affects every minion from the ghoul team. Very neat little change there. More quality of life. Now, this wouldn't be a GVH update without a new class. Joining us today, we have the Chex Warrior. So Chex Warrior, to start off with, he's got no weaknesses or resistances, and he's normal movement speed. Now, all of his Zorch weapons, which he has the Mini Zorch, the Large Zorch, and the Rapid Zorch, are all pseudo hit scan. So if I shoot, it'll take a little bit for the weapon to actually land. Because it's a projectile, it's not hit scan. Another thing to note with that is that because they're pseudo hit scan, they all have the same damage. So there's no randomization with damage. So if I shoot Choke here, he'll always take 8 damage. And same with his chainsaw. It actually, yeah, should be. Yeah, kind of. Now, what just happened there is when you kill a ghoul, any ghoul, they Zorch. They get teleported back to their homeworld, and you get 25 armor. Now you can only hold a maximum of 25 armor, and when you cannot pick up these cereals that they drop too, only other humans can pick these up. So if I go Hunter real quick and I run over cereal, bam. You feel your bones grow stronger after a well-balanced Chex breakfast. And this gives you 25 armor as well. Now you can only hold 25 armor at a time. So if there's multiple armors, try not to grab them if you already have Chex armor. Save them for your team if possible. But that is essentially Chex. He's just a simplified human. And he's got a rather unique mechanic. Same with like Caroline with the dropping of hearts, but instead of healing and giving ammo and stuff, this gives armor to your team. So that is the new Chex warrior, and of course he also has his own teleport fog too. Alright, so this change affects most ghouls and humans that have slow. So the slow has been decreased from about 2 seconds to 1.25. So that affects classes like Hunter, Zidane, and Eyesore. And there's others too that I may have forgotten, but basically universal slow nerf. That way, I'm not gonna hit him again, am I? Fuck you. Anyway, there's a universal slow nerf, so when you hit things with slows on either side, there are exceptions like Flesh Judge, for example, and Sawyer, but for the most part, the slows have been nerfed from 2 seconds to 1.25. Alright, now for this change, this affects classes such as Juggulum, I already lost it. Alright. Jug, Scarlet, Revi, Liberator, and Valmet right now. So, you know how you have to tap fire? Well, you get the option of doing that, or holding the mouse button down. This is me tapping. And this is me holding. So it will always be slower than tap firing, but if you're not a fan of having to click all the time, then this change is for you. You'll have a slower fire rate, but it'll also help. Because I played Juggulum like a few weeks ago, and my hand was hurting real bad, and I could not, it just made it worse, so... And now he has and the other classes have the option of holding down to continue firing. Oh, and I forgot to read here, but there might be a few classes I missed. If so, let me know. And Laura, I left the same because she doesn't really get that much of a bonus from tapping, so might as well leave her the same. Alright, moving on to the humans. We have quite a lot of changes for both humans and ghouls. So let's start with Doom64 guy. So, his pistol does more damage per shot, and the shotgun does too. And the rocket launcher now functions like Doomguy, so it has splash damage. Before, it used to be direct hits only, but now you have splash. It's basically the same numbers as the Doomguy's rocket launcher, but it fires a bit faster. Like, the rockets fly faster. However, you only have 10 instead of 15. And as you may have seen as well, Doom64 guy can now see the health trails of ghouls when they are low health. The only classes that this does not impact are Creeper, Yurei, Undeath, Clowny, Flesh Judge, and Sorrowstitcher. So those classes will be able to not be seen from that, basically. So Hunter's Lightning got a damage decrease. Still does a lot per individual thing direct hits, but overall it's weaker. Fire Magic no longer pushes ghouls. So if you're Creeper, for example, and you're trying to attack Hunter, he will no longer just push you away. Which could be seen as a buff or a nerf. Ice magic will not slow ghouls, but as you saw earlier, the ice arrows will. So this will no longer slow down ghouls. And the biggest change is now that the normal magic has more of a damage in and radius increase. So you can hurt from a lot further away now, like quite a bit. And it does more damage. But not only that, let's summon a rocket and freeze. Run over to the other side here and then unfreeze. That was a fail. Don't say anything. That was a complete fail. Let's try that again. Bam, there you go. So he is now able to reflect any projectile. And just as a heads up as well, the cooldowns on all the magic are increased. So they're a bit longer between using them or being able to fire your bow. So the spamming of that is hopefully not as bad. Now, another change is that you see Choke on the auto map here. Well, if I summon a class like Undeath, invisible. He will not be seen on the auto map. This change affects, let's see. It affects Creeper, Yurei, Undeath, Clowny, Flesh Judge, and Sorrowstitcher. So all the stealth ghouls, you will not be able to see them on the auto map. And don't worry, the teleport orb for Undeath here is also invisible on the auto map, so you can't just camp it with ice, wait till he teleports, and just kill him. So our friend Cyborg has quite a bit of changes. So his plasma damage is less. His starting fuel is 100 instead of 150, but killing ghouls gives him 25 fuel, and you can hold up to 200. And Cyborg now has a new voice set, too.
Stronger, better, got him. Flesh is a design flaw. Spammer, man down. You like that? Target eliminated.
So he has 50 possible taunts to use. So he's got quite a bit of vocabulary in his programming, if you will. And his achievements were also updated too, to have taunts. So let me showcase that.
I come in peace. My victory, your death. Your programming is inferior.
So, as shown earlier, you saw Strife's weapons, but the Templar is now also changed. So he fires projectiles instead of hit scan, just like Chex. And they also are able to be heard from miles away, and up close it is loud. It is beefy sounding. And as I mentioned with the plasma stuff earlier, it also gibbs too. Perfection. So this also means that he shoots 5 of these, right? They all do a base 16 per hit. So you could do anywhere from 80 to whatever weakness or resistances classes have to plasma. So if I hit Sajas here, and I do a line target, bam, he just took 75 that time. So, yeah, the base should be 16, and classes obviously will have weaknesses and resistances to plasma, but if you hit all of them, they should be pretty beefy. Now, for the Strifeguy portion, he has a mini missile launcher and grenade launcher instead of the machine gun. So, the mini missile launcher does decent damage on the primary, and it's infinite ammo. Well, Undeath, I believe, is quite resistant to explosives, whereas Choke is not, so there's that to consider. That's why he's not taking anything. So let's see. The primary is, as I said, infinite ammo, and it also can be heard from a really far distance away. Now, the alt fire is a triple round burst, and you can only use it 5 times. So once you use it, you lose it. That's it. You can't get it back. But it does more damage overall, because it's 3. And as with the Templar, it has a really far distance that you can hear the rockets from, so I'm going to demonstrate that real quick. About halfway. This is why I love Strife, so being able to hear this in MV is just, ugh, chef's kiss. Beautiful. Now, the other weapon is the grenade launcher. Does much more damage than the mini missile launcher, but you only get 12 grenades. Once you use it, you lose it, but Choke's already just about dead from that. And it works like Strife, so if you angle up, they'll shoot a lot further than if you were to do it like this. No phosphorus grenades, though, because those things are just OP in Strife. So, in the same vein as Cyborg, Phazon now also has 50 taunts to use.
Hold still, damn it! You die too easily! Nice! Next! Step aside! Area secure! And stay down!
So she has much more in her vocabulary as well. Now, the primary's damage was increased. You do more damage there. The alt-fire's trail was removed because it was causing a lot of people to crash when they got hit by a bunch of these on your screen. Is very intense. So the plasma trail on the alt is gone now, and the alt-fire the projectiles are slower and it costs a lot more to use it. So you have slower projectiles and less of them. So hopefully the alt-fire is not as annoying this time. So with Duke, you start with the boot out, and the reason being is because you actually run faster, much faster with the boot out compared to your other weapons. So this is like normal running speed. This is boot. You move so much quicker. As you heard, when you switch weapons to the guns, they make noises from Duke 3D. And also, the pistol does not require a load as you switch to it for the first time. So that will be quite handy. Because, honestly, the loading was awesome, but at the same time, why wouldn't you have your guns loaded? Everyone else does, so.
I've got balls.
So, Leonhart here. His Annihilator has 9 ammo instead of 8. And the Skull Throttle has 250 ammo instead of 400. Reside in here, the most hated thing ever, which was the pistol lunge shit that could get you across map in 2 seconds. That is now gone. So if you want to move faster, you have to use your active. Which I ran into a wall, because I'm silly. And the alt-fire's damage has also been reduced. It's still really hard hitting. If you're lucky. Like that. Well, I'm getting really unlucky here. Jeez. There we go. It's RNG based, so I might want to change that in the future, but it is much less harder hitting than it used to be, and there's no more of that lunging stuff. So that's Poseidon for you. Now for Caleb here, we have Quit Switch on his weapons. Now the revolver does less damage per shot, only by 1, so it's still really good. And the dynamite got a carrying capacity upgrade, so you can hold 6 instead of 5, and they do much more damage. They are now classified as a grenade too, so any classes that are weak to grenades will be weaker to the dynamite too. Sawyer's a bit weak to grenades, same with Wendy here. Look at that, already almost dead. So hopefully Caleb will feel more like a gunslinger in this update, which is, to me, very exciting. For Sticklets, we have transparent scopes. So before, if I was, let's say my scope was here, you would not be able to see choke. But now it's transparent, so you can still see as you're scoped in, which is awesome. Because what would happen before is we would just turn off the player sprites to get rid of that effect, you know? Because the scope really hindered your vision. But now you can still leave it on, so you'll still have the effect of the scope, but you can actually see, which is just perfect. Now for the power-up spawner, you can now see, you and your team can now see what power-up that you're trying to spawn. So this will help both you and your team know what you have selected to spawn, which is awesome. Now for Ivy, same thing. The scope has the transparency instead of the blocked out vision. And the alt fire's damage was basically cut in half, but if you're like right on top of it, it's still gonna hurt a lot. Just not, it will not kill you as quick as it did before. I'm slurring my speech. Let me take a sip of my gamer water. Alright, now we're back. Actually, I might want to cut that out. That was kind of cringe. So for Laura, the bow's slowing effect that it had before is gone, but now you fire it much quicker. Twice as fast. Ghostbuster in v3b8, for whatever reason, when you killed Sinistar and Gaster, you would get the Impostor Cell Zone. I think it's because I forgot to change that personally. So now, from Cine... Bastard. From Cine, you get the Sawmill, and from Gaster, you get Soul Plasma.
You don't see every day. He slimed me.
Knight, simple change, just has 200 health instead of 250. Now Lumiona has new sprites here, which I think look fucking fantastic. So Aldivas did a really fucking good job with these. They look perfect. And I'll probably have Lumiona's old sprites. In fact, I'll have all the old sprites up on the screen for you, just so you get a visual like look at what they used to be in v3b8. And these will also reflect on the banner, which I'll probably show on screen at the beginning of the video during the intro or something. So yeah, light bulb looking pretty damn good, and more like a light bulb. Doomguy's chainsaw damage has been decreased. It still kills really fast, just not as ridiculously quick as it did before. Before it would have only taken like 3 or 4 hits and Choke would have been dead, but now it's more than that. Let's summon a Sawyer and chainsaw him just for fun. So for Lo Wang, he now has the ability to quick switch between everything, so that's awesome. And this also helps with his new toy, which, totally not an Aldiva suggestion. Anyway, so the railgun functions like Quake Champion's Doom Edition's railgun, with the firing, so should feel right at home. It's even got the scope sounds and the hit sounds, which has particle effects too. So if I hold it down, the firing speed should be just about the same. Now you only get 15 shots with this, so once you use it, that's it. And let's summon a bunch of chokes just for fun, just to rail them all.
You can't evade me forever.
So Taradino, his flamethrower's primary damage was increased. By a lot. So, yeah. Perhaps too much. We'll have to find out when we test. In fact, yeah, might want to revert that. Might just give him more ammo. We'll have to see. And for the other change, let's summon a chain gun guy. I didn't mean to do that. Okay. Where is he? There he is. Wait, where is he? There he is. Okay. Perfect. Close to death, you beg for strength from the ancient doggo. 45 seconds of carnage. Tap primary to bite, and hold primary to charge up a bark blast. So he's got a really powerful bite. And if we... I'll actually get rid of double ammo for now, but if you hold up primary, he does a bark blast. Which is a high damage, high radius explosive, basically. And here's a little showcase of the paw. If you press your use key, you'll actually pull up the paw here. And I'm gonna give myself doggy morph just to keep showcasing, but and spam taunt to bark, and occasionally if you're not doing anything, he'll lick his snout. And he'll play a random sound. Usually it's the lick, but sometimes it's a bark or a so that is Paradoggo, basically. So this lasts for 45 seconds. It's quite tanky and quite fast, so... And you can only get this thing when you're under 10 health. So if you get it under 10 health, you have to activate it yourself. Otherwise, you will not get the effect from the dog. So you have to be using the activate item key, or else you will not morph into it and you will lose your chance to. Okay, now for Gwen, her damage weakness, which was 1.1 before, has been removed. So she will no longer be more susceptible to normal damage. And the other change is that the stack gain on hit when you hit ghouls with the primary is now 3 instead of 2. So ghouls will die faster when you hit them with the primary. Much faster. We'll have to give that a test, but I think it'll make Gwen... Oh, and it just crashed. Very good. As I was saying before Zandronum decided to fuck me over, it'll hopefully make Gwen more of a threat, because in the current v3b7, she's not that great. She dies really fast and really can't kill that quick and runs out of ammo real fast, so hopefully we'll see some more Gwens. Onto the Ghoul Legion now. So Luna starts with 150 health, but she can go up to 200. So spawn it. Actually, I can't spawn a Doomguy. Let's do that. Summon a Doomguy instead of choke. Yeah, she goes up to 200 from 150 as she hits. The other change is that when you take damage of any kind and enter your pain state, you will lose 1 ammo per hit, basically. So Frostbite has 150 armor instead of 200, and you cannot get it back anymore. So once you lose your armor, that's it, and you cannot regenerate armor like you could before. Bastet, just like Luna, loses 1 ammo when she gets hit. She's slightly weaker to bullets, and she also does just a bit less damage. So our boy Sajas, the original gangster from the forest, now has his Ghouls Forest 3 sprite. So basically you can't recolor, he'll always be the same color. And also... he's a little less transparent when not moving. Before he used to be like practically invisible, but now he is much more visible, I would say. If you're paying attention, you'll see him easier. If you're not really paying attention, he will be pretty much just as hard to spot before. So, and another change, I'll just let you watch. Our main man, Jitterskull, the chef, the OG, is now with his Ghouls Forest 3 sprite as well, so it can't be recolored. And honestly, I kind of prefer his original sprite, because I think colored Jitter's just goofy. But hey, I mean, if people want it to change back to the colorable Jitter, then we can certainly do that. Once the demon is on the fireplace, wait for it to cook. Then nom 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 it. So, in a similar vein to Frostbite, why am I trying to summon him? Emtalic has less armor, 125 instead of 150, but it protects him more, so it soaks up more damage. But once you take damage, you lose armor, and you cannot get it back. For Asylum, one of my most hated ghouls, all of his damage on all of his projectiles have been lowered. And he also has a slight weaknesses to precision weaponry now. So all of his projectiles do less damage. It'd help if I actually hit him. So we'll have to test those numbers, but hopefully he's not as annoying to face, because I actually really quite like his sprite and his sounds and stuff, but man, is he annoying. This one I can just mention, but Undeath, no longer weak to ice. Let's go, lads. Bruh. So, Tyrant Lich has quite a bit of changes. In fact, I actually have to scroll down on my list now. Okay, so first off, his health is now 250 instead of 300. He cannot pick up Spread or Rage anymore. So let me summon those and demonstrate. He cannot pick Spread up and Rage up anymore. So this is only available for other ghouls to pick up. Another thing is that the power-ups can now be seen by other ghouls and Lich. So if you're spawning something, everyone can see it except for the humans, basically. The Gloom Pillar is now 180 instead of 160, and the Paranoia Pillar was garbage, and now it is replaced with Justicar's Gem Healer, which has the highest cost out of all of his arsenal of power-ups, so basically. Oh god. Let's try that again. You gotta give it some, like, vertical space to spawn, I suppose. There we go.
Speed their deaths.
Yeah, you might want to not place it. Actually, this floor right here is kind of jank in this map, so if you're gonna place that thing, make sure you're not placing it on that floor. That was whack. Bye, Totem. Sorrowstitcher, undoubtedly my least favorite ghoul, so when he stealths, it's no longer invis, but rather just transparent. And he makes a sound. And I'm clicking, there we go. So he no longer goes stealth mode, or rather goes invisible when stealthing. And when you press Alt Fire and then try to attack out of stealth, it has a second delay before you can, because, like, you could have a Sorrowstitcher uses M2. He's, like, right next to you. As soon as he appears, he attacks right away. So that should hopefully make Sorrowstitcher not a chore to fight. Because I like him, his design. I think the fakes are cool, but he's just really, really obnoxious right now. Or was, hopefully. So Iotsa has 250 max health instead of 200, as indicated here. He is less weak to fire and plasma now, and when you eat human hearts, this happens. So you get one shot of that, or one shot of this. And then once you use it, that's it. And I just want to show a little synergy here. So let's give myself heart power and give myself lich power. So here's a little synergy you could do with lich. Make an army of skulls. So Terra Puppet just became Touhou Doom. He is now much quicker on the firing of the strings, but the RNG is reduced, so hopefully you won't get the barrages as much. So hopefully this will make it more of like a bullet hell, basically. Wow, I have not gotten the barrage a single time. I am very unlucky. Let's demonstrate what Lich's Rage can do for Terra Puppet, and hopefully get some RNG out of it. There we go. Yeah, the barrage I want to be rare, so let me showcase an even crazier combo. If you thought that was bad. Absolutely beautiful. So for Sawyer, his bear traps now have a different snap sound, and this snap is global, can be heard anywhere on the map. That can be heard anywhere across the map, so you can hear it even through your chainsaw and you'll know someone stepped on a trap that way. For Ravager, let me actually hurt myself real quick. So Ravager now... hurt myself more. A little bit more. There we go. Ravager now heals 40 health instead of 25 on kills. And... Gotcha! This little gotcha taunt is now global, so that will be heard anywhere across the map, just like creepers. So for Gaster, he moves a little bit quicker. He is more, or has a resistance to bullets now, and his melee cooldown has been shortened a little bit. So Gaster, I'd argue, is probably the hardest ghoul in the game to play right now. He is Uboa, but even harder. So hopefully this will make him a little bit easier to get into as a new player. So for Mohoff, he is now much more visible when flying around. Which is good, because I hated how easy it was to just basically blend in and be invisible when you were flying around, so now you can actually be seen. Good change. The sexiest change in this whole update is this new set of sprites for Yurei. Which old Yurei sprites were very gray and PNG and they just looked like ass, but now she looks like she has actual sprites. Like, they look so good. Like, I was thrilled to see this from Aldivas. This was awesome. Like, I love this change so much. She looks creepy as fuck with more color. Let's spawn a Yurei far away, just to show you. From far away especially, look at that. That is fucking beautiful. Look at that. It's so good looking. Ugh. God damn it. Too exciting. Narek didn't have health trails before, so I went ahead and added them. And this also affects Doom 64 Guy's ability to see these as well. So Soul Harvester's teeth sprite got updated. His sprite actually got updated, which looks fucking great. And those rocks have also gotten updated as well. They got a little bit of blood on them. They look much better. Whiteface here has his classic sprites, and his movement sounds are much quieter. And he also has a little movement animation too. And yes, he has his laugh taunt. So for Lamia, her projectiles are now more see-through, so hopefully, like if I spawn a bunch here, hopefully this will make it a little easier to see through them. So they're not as visually blinding for both teams. So Impostor, his activate item has less of a cooldown. And his Euboa and Creepers have a much lengthier cooldown to them. The Creeper one I can't actually show you until it hits on a server, since for whatever reason I can't figure out why you can't actually pull up the Creeper. But, rest assured, it is definitely increased cooldown. And last but not least, is Sinistar. His bite range is just a tiny bit longer. Forgot to show this, but I don't remember actually if I shown this, but forgot to mention, I think I did mention, but I didn't show the zorching of the minions too. Okay. So all minions and even placeable objects. Let's summon Lich, Rune, Skull, Pillar, Gloom. God, what a name. Chex is a no violence allowed class. He does not believe in killing. He sends everything back to the Ghouls world. And with that, the update is a wrap. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I know I did. I fucking had a blast making this update, and I can't wait to continue making more updates for the future of Multiverse. Ever since I became dev, honestly, it's been a much happier time for me. Absolutely crazy how much becoming the lead dev has really changed my outlook on GVH, and, you know, even helping with having something to do, you know, consistently. And this has been about an update about 2 weeks in the making now, so I really hope you guys enjoyed the video. Just know that everything is subject to change here, so like I'm probably gonna touch up on Taradino's flamethrower, because that thing is ridiculously high damaging. But maybe, we'll have to see, because I did just test it on something that was standing still, so. But it also did kill ridiculously fast, so. Anywho, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Feel free to join the Discord if you're not in the Discord already. We have a very lovely community of, I think, 220 people now, so please do join. If you have any questions, you can come to the Discord and ask. You can DM me or send a comment in my YouTube. Please, if you enjoyed, like, comment, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Doompunk out.